Alright, so I'm sitting here at work. Been kind of a slow night, so I've had a lot of time to really think deeply about stuff. And America, we need to wake up. We need to wake up bad. This bullshit of debating and arguing and looking stupid on the internet and social media platforms as we debate against these people while they mock us and laugh at us and call us conspiracy theorists. Knowing damn good and well that we're right in everything we say, they just are too prideful to admit it. When are we going to realize that talking isn't doing any good? When are we going to realize that the time is coming that we are going to have to do the same thing that the founding fathers of this country had to do to get out from tyranny, to stop tyranny from taking over this country? Our founding fathers knew this was going to happen. Why do you think they implied the Second Amendment into the Constitution? In correlation with the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence actually states, if the United States government should ever become tyrannical, it then becomes the people's duty to take up arms and overthrow that government to establish a new one. We have 352 million citizens. A very small fraction of those citizens is the United States military. And most of your true soldiers in the military will not fight back against the citizens. We can't keep talking. We just can't. It's not doing any good. It will continue to not doing any good. They laugh at us, they mock us, they call us conspiracy theorists and everything else, and continue to do the things that we know are completely fucking wrong, and then we just sit back and complain and cry about it. What good is that doing? What is it stopping? Because what I've been seeing, it hasn't been stopping shit. It's only been allowing things to get worse. Because all we do is sit back and complain about it. We don't do anything else. The time for talk is over. The time for action is now. You want to keep your freedoms? You want to keep your rights? Time to stand up. They've been doing it to us. How many people we see get attacked, physically assaulted, because they opposed the agenda? How many times we see somebody have like a stand, a political stand, selling some political merchandise that was on the opposing side of the agenda, and watch on video as these people run up and destroy it. You know, I seen a TikTok video the other day. I don't know what this was about. I don't know what started it. But I seen a group of people, black and white, attacking an old lady with her husband in the car, destroying her freaking car, getting up on it, jumping up and down, caving in the roof, and everything else. For what? They stopped her in the middle of the street and started destroying her car? For what? When are we going to wake up? When are we going to realize that it's time to return back the same results that they gave us? Show us how we really think, how we really feel. When are we going to actually take action? Wake up, America.
Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. But first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone and rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the whole elect. News in the gospel, brother, from the standard of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a quick lesson through the Spirit. Give me 1 second. This is just a quick lesson through the Spirit. As you saw the video, this Edomite character going into how the average American is tired, how they're sick and tired of the tyranny, the injustice that's being done as far as people paying overly in taxes, interest rates going up. We had a $33 trillion deficit, which this place is set to collapse. It was one character that mentioned, I think probably back in July, it was one Edomite cat. He had a page, a TikTok page, and I know brothers was sending a link across the chat rooms and stuff like that, basically spelling that America is heading into a global collapse because the debt ceiling is so high. I mean, the debt limit is so high, $33 trillion deficit, and not just on paper. We're not going into worldwide debt as far as stocks and bonds and, you know what I'm saying, individual debt, credit card debts. That's really probably like around 600 trillion, to be honestly. All right, 33 trillion is making it look pretty, but they would never pay that back. And these people are getting ready to feel the crunch, the squeeze. And I say these people because I don't incorporate us, the brothers, in this thing, because, you know, we're willing to walk away from all this shit, man. You know, we're willing to walk away from everything. Because at the end of the day, man, the Lord said he who loseth his life for my sake shall find it, but who he that saveth his life shall lose it. So with that being said, man, hey, let the collapse come. But as you're seeing that Esau Edom, he's basically stating that the people versus the government, because people don't trust the government. Okay, they don't trust the government to do what's right, because you got the FDA, which is approving lab-grown meats, which lab-grown meats are known to be very toxic and cancerous. But the Federal Drug Administration is supposed to be over making sure no harmful toxins or any particular harmful bacteria or any particular poisonous foods or products are engulfed in the food. But yet, what does Esau do? He allowed these things to pass through the administration on a good word. Okay, a good word, so to speak. And they showed you that in that Netflix special called Painkillers. Basically what happens is they say, well, look, the hacklers even mentioned, they said, well, look, the Food and Drug Administration, they don't really give a shit about, you know, what passes what. As long as you got good word, faith, and good word, then they're going to pass it without even testing it. When in fact, they're supposed to have people that test these products. And I'm going to tell you like this, 99.8% of the shit in America should be banned. Okay, there's no way in fucking hell that the food that's on our shelves in these grocery stores, the ingredients and the chemicals and the pesticides and the air fresheners and the asbestos and all this other shit that they're allowed to get through this administration, not all, it should be banned. Okay, everything from the goddamn water to the bread to the frozen vegetables to the fresh vegetables, it needs to be banned. But we know that's not going to happen because this is America, this is Babylon the Great, and the Most High, technically it's all set up to totally destroy this place. So everything in this system from point A to point Z is ultimately corrupted. So the Most High can bring the judgment, because that shows you the need for needing to get delivered out of Babylon because of the poisons that we're inhaling. So this place is almost out of here, because it says, could the American people ever rise up and revolt against the U.S. government? And the question to that is yes. Okay, we're seeing it in the news. We're seeing people protest shit. Okay, you got Title 4D that's clearly oppressing people, mainly men. Okay, and people that just had enough of it, from high interest rates to rent hikes, to the cost of living, to Kansas City itself went up 16-17% in 1 year. They doubled the inflation rate in Kansas City in 1 year, when in fact I believe that they was going up, like, I can't recall, but 7 to 8% a year. Kansas City did it in 1 year. I mean, rents then jumped up dramatically, man. Okay, so it says nearly 1 in 3 Americans say it may be soon necessary to take up arms against the government. Well, hey, what took y'all on this shit? Other countries and other cultures have been on this shit since day one, because they refuse to allow what you stupid Americans are allowing in your society. Okay, here you are, taxed to death. You're overworked. Okay, your food is overly toxic. Your drinking supply of water is totally tainted. The women are defiled. The men are defiled. Okay, the children are defiled. The animals are even defiled. And yet you people are still hoping on a care package from your government, man. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you straightforward like this: I don't see Donald Trump getting back in office. I know they're gonna try to push the effort, but I don't see Trump getting back in office no time soon. Okay, it may not even be an election next year, depending on how this society goes, depending on how imminent this collapse is. There might not be no election, and there may be an election. Who knows? But overall, man, it says 28% of all voters, including 37% of gun owners, agreed it may be necessary at some point soon for citizens to take up arms against the government. That means that you need to start attacking these Title 4D administrative of assistants, because they're not really judges. They're administrative assistants, which that's not a judge. Okay, judges are not allowed to sit in child support hearings because they have what they call a financial interest in the case. So that's bias as all hell. What you call family law judges, or domestic dispute or domestic judges, which 95% of those court cases proceedings are by women, black women at that. Okay, that has been abused by a former partner or a lover or ex marriage. Oftentimes they put people with biased opinions on top of these particular court cases to rule unfavorably in the man's favor. Okay, and all this is part of the frustration that people are undergoing every day outside of a collapsing economy. So people are ready to really, lay the metal. What did they say? The pedal to the metal, man. Okay, but it says a view held by around 35% of Republicans and around 35% of independents. 1 in 5 Democrats concurred. It says the findings come after the House committee investigating the January 6th, which that was all folly, rise at the U.S. Capitol wrapped up its final hearings for the summer, seeking to place former President Donald Trump at the heart of efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Okay, which this is pretty old, but nonetheless, it says more than 70% of Republicans and more than 70% of Democrats both agreed the other side are generally bullies who want to impose their political beliefs on those who disagree. Okay, like this guy mentioned, he said anybody that disagree with the government's tyranny, they're attacked and often ostracized, man. Okay, so this is going to come to a war between the people and the government. Okay, like they showed you in the Forever Purge. The Forever Purge is getting ready to be a reality here in America, man. Okay, because the average person they're feeling the squeeze, they feeling the crunch. You working 80 hours a week, and yet they're taking 40% of your income, and the other 50% is for you to pay rent. So what's that, roughly 90%? You have 10% left to buy groceries, car expenses, daycare, childcare, which doesn't leave you with nothing at all. Okay, childcare expenses run up 25% of your income. Vehicle expenses 15%. Okay, rent 60%. You know what I'm saying? And taxes is another 35, 40. So you're well over 100% of your disposable income is totally gone. And people are tired of this shit, man. So, hey, people are going to start working. They're going to start protesting. They're going to start rioting, looting. And especially when this collapse comes, that's going to add the insult to injury. Because now you had a strike, I believe it was of the auto industry. Now, I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if they came to some type of agreement. But basically, man, you had an auto industry strike last week, which they was, asking for demands and to be paid higher for the works that they do, which, hey, pay the men what they do. Also, you're still on a writer's strike. A lot of movie scripts are being delayed. A lot of programs and shows are being rushed. A lot of movies are being rushed. because they know when the next lockdown, nobody's gonna really get a chance to enjoy these homemade films, man. All right. So with that being said, this is a precept. This is the book of Isaiah 19, and I'm gonna start at 1. It says, the burden of Egypt. Behold, it says, the burden of Egypt, but behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and should come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt should be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt should melt in the midst of it, man, okay? And the spirit of Egypt, because right now we're seeing all types of destabilization of markets, bear markets. The real estate market is totally going downhill, yet they're pumping all these false promises in a bear market that's not going to be recoverable in the immediate future, you know? But yet people are still buying homes. Why? Because they need places to live. You know, people are taking out an extra line of credit to be able to afford expenses, man, that they can't necessarily afford. So you still got realtors that's making good money out here based on the desperation of the people, man. Okay, it's basically equivalent to a drug dealer's business. You basically feed on the people's hope. You know, they need hope of drugs, then you give them the life support so they can keep coming back. And same thing in the real estate market. A lot of times these realtors or real estate brokers know that the people can afford, but yet they have these particular no money down contracts and these extra incentive bonuses that if they do buy and lock themselves into an impayable loan or unpayable loan, they can oftentimes get some type of deal or special, and then they'll promise them like some type of equity down the line. But overall, it's all bullshit. You know, it's a business of greed, okay, and playing on the despair of people, which is wicked as all hell. Okay, if you are a real estate agent or a real estate broker, ain't no way in fucking hell you're supposed to be trying to seduce people to buy something they can't afford, because that shoots out your chance of getting a commission behind that. But it's all about a commission and making money and making the other person suffer. They don't care about the back end. They just want the 10, 15, 20 bands up front. Depending on, you know, how prolific of a real estate agent you are, you may get $50,000 a sale. Depending on how good you is, they know they ain't gonna make nothing on the back end. So the point is to get them in the door now. You get them, seal a deal, and then all of a sudden, you know, the person suffers later on down the line. Okay, it's basically like drug dealing, man. Okay, it's wicked as hell, but that's the game, you know, cutthroat, and people are tired of that shit. They're tired of being taken advantage of, man. You know what I'm saying? They're tired of being taken advantage of by the child support courts, taxes. Like, honestly speaking, like, you Americans, you should have stopped paying your fucking taxes a long time ago, because technically you don't get nothing back from it, you know? But you don't do that, you know, they arrest your ass because you've given power to this tyranny, you know? You got a host of migrants. They stated over, I think it was like over so many hundreds of thousands of migrants, I think like 200-something thousand migrants that's in the United States, man. You know, they came across the border. Texas is standing off with that. They're not allowing them, but in different parts, they're literally busing migrants to different cities. And I know because I've seen them where I live at, you know. So migrants, you know, they're basically building a military right under you people's noses, man, because they know that the average American soldier, like that Edomite stated in the video, is not going to want to shoot the citizens, but in fact, they're going to join up with most of the patriotic citizens to go against this global cabal. This is the reason why they have a military that they're building in the form of these migrants, man, because they know that the United States military is not going to want to turn on their own people, you know, because a lot of them don't agree with what's happening. But it says here, and the heart of Egypt should melt in the midst, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom, all right? And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to wizards, man. Okay, because for the simple fact, people, they're desperate. They want to know where the end of the pandemic is going to come. They want to know when it can go back to 99-cent gas prices and, you know, 67-cent cartons of eggs and, you know, $10 pounds of beef, you know, all that good shit. They want to go back to the good old days of America, but we're here to tell you that you can forget about it. Okay, those days are long gone, and guess what? They're never coming back. Okay, so you can kiss that goodbye. Okay, it's downhill from this point, because it's the time that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he has to pay his tab. Okay, and when you don't pay a tab, what happens is your bill runs up to the point, all right, people start coming in and collecting shit. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to send them reapers here to get they just due, man. Okay, and we are seeing it. You see? So next precept, 2 Ezra 15, and I'm going to start at verses 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, And one people should stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands, okay? People are getting ready to go to the streets, man. Okay, they're getting ready to take what they want. And they showed you that in those Purge movies. For there should be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they should not regard kings nor princes. And of course, of their actions shall stand in their power, okay? Meaning, fuck the government, fuck child support, fuck taxes, fuck a job. We want what we want, and fuck a cop. We'll do what we got to do to go through them. And that's the average mindset of these people here in America. You know what I'm saying? They're tired. And it says here, and a man, it says for a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. For because of their pride, the city should be troubled and houses should be destroyed and men should be afraid, right? Because people are literally going to take the matters into their own hands. So ain't no cop, no firefighter, no sheriff, okay? Nobody is not going to be able to do anything to hold the citizens at bay. Because like the dude said, he said, look, the people outnumber the military and the cops 10-1. Okay, so you're going to have a hard time on getting these people to establish order. And this is why they're going to use the military to establish order. But there's not going to be any order because people are going to gun it out with the military. And these Americans, these Edomites, they're ready for it. Okay? Jake is lost. Jake is all about a goddamn 50-cent Whopper, a 50-cent double cheeseburger, man. They ain't worried about what's coming. Jake's still trying to figure out how to go to the club and how to scheme niggas for Jordans and get flat screens and play 2K. Okay? They not with this shit coming down here. Okay? Esau is ready. But you, Jakes, you're getting ready to be straight up slaughtered. And it says, for because of their pride, the city should be troubled and the houses should be destroyed and men should be afraid. And the men should have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of tribulation and the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. So we getting ready to see the worst of the worst in this society, you know? And like we've been warning you people, man, hey, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, he's not playing games anymore, you know? Because for the simple fact, shit, enough is enough. It's time for us to get our rulership, man. We need to be healed. We need to be fed, you know. We need to be in our kingdom. We need to be put on high to establish righteous order in this kingdom. Okay? This government shit, this shit is old, bro. Like, my supervisor said it. And even my supervisor is realizing it, man. When I was at the little thing yesterday, she was like, man, did you see the new Transformers? I said, I heard about it. She said, man, hey, that's talking about us. And a simple fact that a female, a Jake woman said that. She said, if that's not talking about us, then I don't know what. Because apparently the last Transformer movies was pretty spiritual. And even she picked up on it. So they knowing that a change of rulership is on hand. And Esau feels it, man. Like last week, man, when I went to the gas station, Esau was looking at me, man, because I was down looking for my debit card. He said, man, it's going to be okay. And I said, oh, yeah. And he said, but is it really? I said, hey, shit, who knows? He said, man, I don't know, man. I said, it's going to turn out all good for us. Meaning our people, not you. But he was like, man, I don't know if it's going to be good for the people of America. And he just seemed totally broken. And this is the average Edomite, man. Okay? And another spiritual thing happened to me today. I was in a chiropractor office today, you know, getting my work done and stuff, man. And this, I don't know, he could have been an Edomite. I don't know. But he came up to me while I was on the table, getting my neck adjusted and my back. You know, I get the spinal decompression. And then he came and gave me a card, man. And he said, I know this is going to sound weird, but he said, the Most High has a plan for you. He said, he has a plan for your life. And I looked at the card and it had cure on there. Now, of course, he was promoting a church bullshit, which they do that. They pass out their cards. But what stood out was the fact that it has, this is the cure. He said, the Most High has something going good for your life. Meaning, he said that the Most High has a plan for your life, man. And the card had cure on there, meaning healing is coming back. And I was like, thank you. You know, I didn't try to cut it with no scriptures and nothing like that. I couldn't even see the dude. I was on the table. But he was like, man, and he walked out. And then when I got out of the place, I went up to the reception's office and I asked the lady, I said, excuse me, let me ask you a question. And she said, yo, what's up? I said, well, have you ever saw that guy coming here before? She said, no, I found it weird. She said, I thought he knew you because he came right up to you. And I was like, he didn't pass out anything to you people or give you nothing? She said, no, it's strange. He just walked right up to you and gave you a card and say, hey, well, not a card, but she didn't see, but she said he walked right up to you and gave you something. We thought that you might have known each other. I said, I've never seen this guy day in my life. So that was spiritual as all hell, man. So that gave me hope. I'm like, yeah, Yahweh Shai's getting ready to make moves on this fucking place, man. They find out today they're in a $33 trillion deficit. So yeah, the Lord is getting ready to do some things, brothers, man. And we just gotta hold on. But one more precept, and I'm gonna end it. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 6 In 22 it says, and suddenly should the sown places appear unsown, and the foolish storehouses should suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet should give a sound, which every man heareth, they should suddenly be afraid. And a trumpet that's blowing now is the sound of the economic collapse, the MOTB, okay, homelessness at an all-time high. Goddamn, inflation is all out of the place, you know, all over the place. People are feeling it, you know, they're feeling the squeeze. And it says here, and at that time shall France fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run, man. Okay, so we in some very, very crazy times, brothers, man, and it's only gonna get worse. So with that, I'm gonna end it, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. And with that, Shalom and the Baba Shalom.